And you, like millions of others who can't start the day without caffeine? In this video, I'm going to talk about why I quit caffeine 10 years ago and I'm never going back.
Walks and Wonders, the DECAF episode.
Like most people, for a lot of my life, the thought of starting day without that caffeine hit in the morning was unthinkable. I really got to the point some years ago where I wasn't happy with my life and I had very high anxiety, and I was using caffeine to get through the day, help me have energy in the day and stuff like that. I get so hyped up on that I'd need a drink in the evening, and just went round and round a cycle, because then you get a hangover, you need caffeine in the morning, or you feel you do. And I just decided at some point I wanted to escape from that cycle. So for me, the main point in quitting caffeine was just to lower anxiety levels, and it did that virtually overnight. I used to drink about 5-6 cups of strong coffee every day, and if you've done that every day for a long time like I had, when you suddenly stop overnight, you are likely to get a blinding headache, which I did for about 12 hours, maybe 12, 18 hours. And that's just the effect of withdrawal symptoms from the drug caffeine, and it is a drug. Caffeine is so universal, it's the second most traded commodity in the world after oil. The benefits of quitting caffeine are more than just being less anxious. Benefits of quitting caffeine are fantastic. So reduced anxiety, which was my main purpose of quitting, just calmer living. So instead of sort of swing up and down of your mood or your energy, you just have a sort of level energy throughout the day. And then there's less loo visits, because caffeine's a diuretic, so you don't need the loo as much. Also a quieter mind, really, because if you get troubled thoughts, caffeine will magnify that, definitely. 90% of people consume caffeine, making it the most used psychoactive drug on earth. It's hard to find a YouTube video these days that doesn't start with someone making coffee. But for me, the purpose of stopping was I'd come to the realisation that my whole life was about medicating emotional pain from past trauma. And that's why I tended to drink every evening. That's why I needed caffeine in the morning to get through the day. I guess most people carry a bit of trauma in their lives from the past, either from childhood or teenage years or even adult life. My trauma was grief trauma when 3 members of my family died, and thought I'd sort of dealt with that, but obviously hadn't. Back in the 80s I lost both my parents in 1 year and our son about 2 years later. And when I think back, I think that was the time I started sort of medicating my life with food, what I ate, what I drank. That takes a bit of a toll on your body and on your health. And so for me, caffeine was, the way I got energy in the morning, and carried on drinking it throughout the day just to get work done. But I found it led to all sorts of health problems in the end. And you may say, well, you could have just had 1 cup in the morning, but you can do that if you're thinking in a balanced way about your life and about what you consume. But if you're using food and drink to medicate emotional trauma, then that's not how you think. So 10 years ago, I had my last cup of caffeinated coffee, and I have to say I'm not planning on ever going back to it. And so what do I drink instead? And it's not just in, caffeine's not just in coffee, it's in tea, it's in cola, it's in some chocolate, but it does tend to be strongest in sort of barista coffee at the coffee shop. So what I drink instead is I do drink coffee, it's just decaf coffee, so even that's got a little bit of caffeine in, but they reckon that's about 2%, whereas a barista coffee, you're looking at 65-70% caffeine. So obviously a much higher rate, 2%. It's, you could probably have a decaf before you get to bed. Obviously you don't want to drink too much decaf. I just have a couple of cups of decaf throughout the day, and obviously because it's not an addiction, or it's not a habit like caffeine, I don't go overboard on it. I'm not trying to use it to medicate emotional pain. So what about you? Do you have a habit of caffeine in the morning? Have you never drank caffeine? Be interested to hear your thoughts. And again, this video it's not health advice. I'm not a doctor, and it's not an instruction or even a recommendation that you don't drink caffeine. I'm just telling you why I gave up caffeine, and I feel a whole lot better for it. Much calmer, anxiety, down to almost zero really. Just normal anxiety of things that happen in life occasionally, but not that ongoing background anxiety I used to have when I consumed caffeine. So yeah, leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Is caffeine a habit? Is it an addiction? Is it just part of what we eat and drink? Am I making too much of it? Just feel free to leave your comments below. Thanks for joining me on this morning walk today as I share my story about getting free from caffeine. And I'll see you on the next walk, wherever that may be.